So there's this guy, right? He is a YouTuber, British YouTuber. His name's Tom Stanland. He sent a McDonald's Big Mac into space. It's really cool footage. But the other cool thing is that when it came back down to Earth, he ate it. So what is going on with this? Who is this guy? And why did he send a Big Mac to space? And more importantly, how did the Big Mac taste after being up in space? His nickname on YouTube is Killam. He has about 2.7 million followers on the platform, and he launched a Big Mac into space, well, just to see what would happen to it, and also to see how it would taste when it comes back down to Earth. This is how he did it. There was a weather balloon. He used a bunch of helium. The weather balloon was attached to a string, which was attached to a parachute. So when the weather balloon, once it gets up high enough, there's no more atmosphere left for it, it pops. Attached is the parachute. The parachute is attached to the, let's just say it's the cockpit of the structure that the Big Mac is on top of. And inside of this, it's basically a foam box. It's like a little insulated cooler. And inside of this, there is a charger, like a brick charger that you'd get for your phone, like a power bank. Also, there is a couple hand warmers to keep it warm in there. And there's also a tracking device. So they use GPS tracking to track the platform that the burger was sitting on. And inside that container is also a GoPro. So the GoPro is filming everything when this is happening. It's filming the Big Mac, which is on a little platform outside of the box that everything else is in. So the Big Mac it's in the elements. So as it goes up into space, it gets everything bombarded on it all the time. Stanland said, "I've seen people send stuff to space, but no one ever sent a burger to space, so I wanted to be the first to give it a go. It took a couple of weeks of preparation to make sure we had everything exactly how it needed to be." This is all pretty makeshift. You know, these are things that you can buy online, or things that you can get at a store. You know, you can go to the store and buy a GoPro. You can buy one on Amazon. The brick charger, you can also buy that on Amazon. Go to your any local store, maybe even a grocery store, you can get a brick charger. The hand warmers, you can get them at a gas station. You know, he used super glue and ties to hold the burger in place, as well as, super glue not super glue, but he used tape to hold the tracker and the power bank in place as well. So it was pretty makeshift, and it was pretty cool. Easy to do if you know where to look online to find things like this. You can do a simple search for how to send something into space on a weather balloon. You get numerous tutorials, numerous web pages that will tell you exactly how to do the same thing. So if you're interested, I would say go for it. Make sure you do it legally, but go for it. Might as well, right? But mind you, there are risks involved. Things could hit the balloon, something like a bird, an airplane possibly. So make sure you check with your local officials and make sure that everything is in line before you actually start your project, because some places, they don't allow you to launch balloons like this. So you might have to find an outskirts kind of area with big wide open areas where you can launch it. So the balloon was successfully launched. The burger was attached to it. And there was there's a whole drama of trying to find it with the tracker. The tracker went down, and they found out later that the tracker went down because it was frozen. It was frozen after it gets to a certain point of height. The tracker doesn't really tell you where your thing is anymore. And also, it got really cold when it was in space, and when it was coming back down, they didn't know exactly where it was, and he stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning waiting for it. It's supposed to take about 3 hours for this whole process to work out, but it took a long time. I think it was 15 hours altogether. He waited the whole night, but they found it the next day. The tracker started working again, and when he looked it up, it was a 3-hour car ride to get to where the burger was. He did a little bit of investigating, and he found out that it was at a soccer practice area. And he called them up, and he asked them if they had seen the thing, if they've seen this box with the Big Mac on it. They said that they'd help him find it. They did find it. And then he told them he'd be there in about 3 hours. 3 hours later, he shows up. He thanks everyone for their help. He gives them presents, which is really nice of him. And then he takes a bite of the Big Mac. And what does it taste like? It's extremely dry. So dry that he could barely swallow it. And why is that? Why is the burger so dry after it's been up in space? What happened to it? What happened to the moisture in that burger? So basically, the whole hamburger, everything in the hamburger has water in it. You know, it's hydrated. The bun, the burger, the lettuce, the pickles, everything else, condiments. So this is what happens. When water is poured into space, it rapidly vaporizes or boils away. So everything within that burger boiled away. It vaporized. And in space where there's no air pressure. And as air pressure drops, the temperature needed to boil water gets lower and lower. And that's why water boils much faster on a mountaintop than it does at sea level. And in space, because there's no air pressure, water boils away at an extremely low temperature. Extremely fast. So when this burger got down to Earth, it had no water left in it. It had all boiled away. So when he took that bite, that crunchy bite of a Big Mac, most Big Macs aren't crunchy. Well, unless they're left out for a really long time. And this one was very crunchy. That's because there was no water in it, because space vaporized or boiled away the water in it. It's a very cool experiment, and I'm glad I watched the video. It's really fun, and I think it will inspire other people to send other cool things into space.